What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we're going to be checking out my first battles for the Ultra League Premier Cup here in Season 7 of GO Battle League. Yesterday Ultra League dropped, but I was asleep like always, living here in the United Kingdom. So today we're going to check out my first battles utilizing a very strong, I think, standard team here for the Ultra League Premier Cup, and do note that none of these Pokemon are XL. I definitely want to emphasize that you guys do not need XL Pokemon to win in GO Battle League for the Ultra League. They definitely help out, they're definitely a lot of fun, they're definitely very powerful, but they're not necessary. So today we're running Shadow Machamp on the lead. What's amazing with Shadow Machamp, if you guys haven't seen my top counters to Talonflame video, Shadow Machamp can beat the Talonflame in the 2-shield, in all shielding situations, and just go straight cross chop. It is so powerful, and you guys are going to see that today. Now we're going to use Magnezone in the back and Drifblim as a safe swap. Drifblim is so deadly on the safe swap. It can either get you that switch advantage back, get you shield advantage, or just massively lower the attack of your opponent, which again we will see today. So let me know down in the comments how your guys' battles are going here for the Ultra League. What teams and what Pokemon are you guys using, and what do you guys think about this team? Let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, getting into the first battle here, we have Shadow Machamp on the lead versus Togekiss. Just the worst lead ever. We got to swap right away into that Drifblim, start getting ahead on energy. Now they bring in an Aggron. And you got to be thinking to yourself right here, this is not looking good. Togekiss into Machamp, Aggron into Drifblim, but we're going to go ahead and go for this Shadow Ball, and this is what I mean about Drifblim being so deadly. Even in losses like this, you can put a lot of pressure. Now we get to the Icy Wind just in time. This is going to put some pressure on a potential shield. If they're counting right, they may not shield, but they did. We did get the shield right there, which is huge for us. Now, what we need to do, and what's very important with this team, is to get energy advantage. Now that we have shield advantage because of Drifblim, we want to get that energy advantage with the Machamp. Now, we're not going to shield as well. We resist Heavy Slam and Stone Edge, and the attack was lowered. So the Heavy Slam doesn't do too much. We can farm down, but I don't have enough energy for a Rock Slide, so I have to swap straight into Magnezone. And they have a Roserade in the back. Roserade recently had a community day where this thing now has Bullet Seed and Weather Ball, and Weather Ball does do super effective damage, and a lot at that. So you guys may be wondering, what can I do in this situation? Well, my only win condition right now is to go straight for Mirror Shots for neutral damage, and then double shield my Magnezone and keep energy on it. So let's see if we can do that. We're going to go ahead and just throw these Mirror Shots, chip away the health, and we got the attack drop right there, which is really nice. Now I am going to double shield right here and build up to that Wild Charge so I could potentially one-shot the Togekiss. So we're going to go ahead and just farm down. They are going to be throwing another charge move right here, but Machamp switch timer is coming back up. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this last Weather Ball. Swap straight in Machamp to get as many counters off as I can, and I take out the Roserade. We are going to see the Togekiss come back in, and now I have enough energy for that Rock Slide. This does massive, super effective damage to the Togekiss, and they have to respect it. So we do get a shield, which is perfect, everyone. Wild Charge now will one-shot a Togekiss, and that is going to be a good battle, very well played. This team does very, very well with energy and shield advantage. You don't necessarily need switch advantage. We saw Togekiss into Machamp, Aggron into Drifblim, and Roserade into Magnezone. We were still able to pull it off because of shield and energy advantage. Alright, moving into the next battle, we have Machamp versus Talonflame. The exact matchup I was talking about in yesterday's video. We can go straight for cross chops right here. What's also important is that you don't let them sneak through a fast move, so you want to time your cross chops either during the middle of their fast move animation, which is ideal, or towards the end of it. So we do get a shield right there. They're going to go ahead and go for a charge move. Now, I'm obviously going to be shielding this. I know if I can land a cross chop, I can win this game, and they have to respect the one shot here from Rock Slide. But they do decide to swap out into Venusaur, which is perfect. I built up to Rock Slide. Now I'm going to come in with Drifblim. Drifblim, being that Ghost flying typing, is going to resist both Frenzy Plant and Sludge Bomb. Ghost resists Poison, which is really awesome to note. And what's great here is we have Hex as a fast move, and that Icy Wind here does super effective damage on top of lowering the attack there of the Venusaur. So we want to maintain this switch advantage, and we definitely don't want to give up any shields right here. So that landing that Icy Wind was pretty huge for us, and we don't need to shield this. We want to try to overcharge a bit on energy. That way, if they let the Venusaur go down, we can potentially get an Icy Wind off against the Talonflame. So we're going to go ahead and throw this Icy Wind now at the Venusaur. This will either take it out or we will get a shield. We do take it out. Perfect. And now we are going to see the Talonflame most likely come back in and farm up a lot of energy. That is what's dangerous with Talonflames, everyone. They can, when they farm energy, things are now not looking too good. Consider that this thing also has so much energy. I only have one shield and a Machamp and a Magnezone in the back. So let's see if we can pull this off. What I need to do is throw this cross chop right away. I want to get this final shield away from my opponent, and we'll have to see what they decide to do. They decide to shield, and they're going to go ahead and throw their energy, but I did sneak a fast move through right there, which is perfect. I will shield this, and I'm actually going to swap now into Magnezone to catch the next Flame Charge, but they swap at the same time into Gallade. So things are not over. Wild Charge cannot one-shot, but I'm going to go ahead and throw the Wild Charge just before they get to the close combat right here, because that will one-shot me, right? So the Wild Charge barely takes out the Gallade. They are going to be able to throw the charge move. This is likely going to be a close combat. If not, I can farm down and we're looking good. So it is close combat, takes us out, and then we can come in and farm down with the Shadow Machamp and go straight for this cross chop right here, which should do enough damage to take out the Talonflame, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent. Ooh, barely not enough, but we're able to get a counter through right there. And that is going to be a good battle. Talonflame, absolutely deadly in this meta, but you guys can handle it. All right, moving into this next battle, we have Machamp on the lead versus Swampert. Another tough matchup here, but Machamp can win the 1 and the 2, and they decide to swap into Drifblim. So I'm going to go ahead and go straight into this Magnezone right now. Again, I don't want to give up shield advantage right away, so if this is going to be a Shadow Ball, so be it. I'll let them hit me with it, and it is going to be a Shadow Ball. That is unfortunate. That does a lot of damage right there. What we're going to do is build up a lot of energy and then go ahead and throw a Wild Charge right here. This will one-shot the Drifblim, and I'm okay with losing Switch as long as I get shield advantage. But we land it perfect. We are now going to see the Swampert come back in, which means we can get to this Wild Charge right here to do a decent chunk of resisted damage to the Swampert, right? Good chunk of damage done right there, which definitely helps out the Machamp matchup because of the raw damage from counters, right, as a Shadow Machamp. So we're going to go ahead and bring in that Machamp. We're going to go straight for Cross Chop right here, force them to shield, and then we may look to swap into Drifblim. We'll have to see. I decided to throw the Cross Chop right there. But now I'm actually looking at the health of this Swampert, and I can safely 2-shield and farm down. Whatever's in the back may be extremely weak to Machamp, so I want to just farm as much energy as I can, safely double shield. Hydro Cannon will not one-shot me. It does about 56% of my health, so I'm still looking good, and we can just fully counter down right here. And whatever's in the back, hopefully we can beat. And it is going to be a Magnezone in the back, so we're going to go ahead and throw a Cross Chop. This is going to be a good game. Cross Chop does super effective damage. And it is a Shadow Machamp, which is an absolute monster. So we're going to go ahead and throw this next one. And again, committing to that farm down, reading that whatever they have in the back, we might be able to beat. And even if it was something like maybe a Dragonite or maybe a Togekiss, we have that Rock Slide there for super effective damage as well to fight off against those fighters. And I'm going to go ahead and just swap into the Drifblim to show that we basically had the same team. They ran Swampert on the lead. I ran Shadow Machamp. And I think Shadow Machamp is a bit better in this current format because of all the counters to Talonflame that we see, plus that Shadow Machamp can beat a Talonflame. So we have Charizard now on the lead. We're going to go ahead and swap right away into Drifblim. I do not like the Machamp versus Charizard initially on the lead. Even though Rock Slide will one-shot, I'd rather come into Drifblim and throw a Shadow Ball right here to get shield advantage, but they let it go. That is beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and shield myself. I can commit to the farm down right here, especially if this is a Blast Burn, which it is. So I'm going to try to commit to that farm down, but I get a little antsy and I decide to go for the Icy Wind right here. We CMP tie, which means this is just a Dragon Claw. I should have just committed knowing that my Hex would have taken it down. Dragon Claw is not going to do too much, but sadly I threw the Icy Wind. That's unfortunate, but let's see if we can still maintain a win right here. So we're going to go ahead and throw that Icy Wind. We'll have to see what comes in. It's going to be a Venusaur, which means they really don't have an answer to Drifblim. And Venusaur, again, like we saw earlier, only does resisted damage. No move that Venusaur has can even do neutral to Drifblim. So we do get a shield right there. I'm going to go ahead and throw this next Icy Wind. I just got to it. before they got to the Frenzy Plant, so I will shield right here to get this next Icy Wind off. I want to drastically lower the attack of this Venusaur while also chunking a lot more health because Icy Wind it just does so much damage in this matchup. So we do chunk the health. We're going to try to get to another one and force them to use their energy, so they do throw it. And now I can't really come in with Shadow Machamp because counter won't be able to take it down fast enough. But if I come in with Magnezone, I can actually resist. Plus, the Frenzy Plant is not going to do a lot of damage, right? Because of our Steel typing, we do see that is a Kingdra in the back. So what I'm going to do now is go for double Wild Charge. If I get a shield, then I'll throw the second one. If I don't, then I'm going to swap to Machamp. So I do get it. We're going to go ahead and build up a little more energy, go for a Mirror Shot now to get that shield from them and potentially lower the attack. And then we're going to go ahead and swap into the Machamp. We don't get the debuff, but that is okay. This is just going to be an Octazooka. Even if it was an Outrage, I could completely farm down and it would still be a good battle. Octazooka, not enough to take us out. We can fully counter down, and then that is going to be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent. All right, moving into this next battle. We have Machamp on the lead versus Venusaur. Not a very good lead matchup. We're going to go ahead and go into that Drifblim right here, start getting ahead on energy, and we'll have to see what they decide to bring in. They're going to go ahead and bring in an XL Umbreon right here. So this is obviously not going to be a matchup that I can win, but what's important here is that Icy Wind is just going to do some chip damage and constantly lower the attack of Umbreon. That way, the Shadow Machamp can come back in and completely farm down without having to worry to shield because the attack is so lowered here. So we're just going to keep going for Icy Winds. We're not going to shield. We need to save those shields for our Shadow Machamp and our Magnezone to potentially win endgame. Drifblim is just a sacrifice right now to lower this Umbreon's attack. Now, this opponent and I both recognize a situation, you guys are going to see it here in a second, where I don't want to do any more damage to it. So hopefully I can get to the one more Icy Wind right here, and this is probably going to be ideal for me. 3 debuffs will be just fine, but I get a little greedy. And notice that they're going to stop attacking right here as well. Right there, they stop attacking, and I throw the Icy Wind. I'm taking too much health away from my opponent, and when I saw them stop attacking, I realized I made a mistake. I should have not thrown this Icy Wind and let them just farm me down because I need more health to farm on Umbreon, which is why I'm going to stop attacking right here. As you guys can see, the health on Umbreon is going to be enough for me to farm down with Shadow Machamp, but the more health it has, the more energy I could get to face off against that Venusaur. So I am going to bring the Machamp back in. We're not going to shield. Again, Umbreon is not an offensive heavy Pokemon, plus we just drastically lowered its attack, and Last Resort just did nothing. Now I can fully counter down. Hopefully I get to a Rock Slide. I'm one fast move away from Rock Slide. So Venusaur is going to be coming back in. It has a bit of energy, but I can get to the Rock Slide before it gets to Frenzy Plant. So we're going to go ahead and throw that Rock Slide right here. This is going to do a lot of neutral damage, put that pressure on them to need to shield, and we're going to go ahead and swap now into the Magnezone to hopefully catch the Frenzy Plant, which we do. Beautiful. This is going to be resisted, and I'm going to let it go. But sadly, that was a mistake because there is a Talonflame in the back, which means these Incinerates are going to be able to take me out before I can get to 2 Wild Charges, which is unfortunate. If I would have shielded that, I could have gotten to back-to-back Wild Charges and potentially closed out this game, but Talonflame farmed me down, and things are not looking good. Now, like I said earlier, Machamp can beat the Talonflame, but that's if in a fresh fight on the lead with same energy. This Talonflame just farmed down a Magnezone, so it's not looking good. And this is why Talonflame is so deadly, everyone, and why I wanted to talk to you guys about it yesterday, because its ability to sweep teams when it has energy and shields is just crazy. It's crazy good. Now I have to go for the shield bait right here, hoping that they shield, which they don't, which is unfortunate. Remember, there's still a Venusaur in the back, so we would have lost either way. But good game to my opponent right there. Could have potentially shielded the Frenzy Plant and then gotten ahead on energy and gotten shields back. That might have been a bit different game if I shielded the Magnezone. But hey, Talonflame sweeping me in game right there. You love to see it. All right, we have Machamp now on the lead versus Swampert. Again, another lead matchup that's positive for us the deeper we go into it because of the damage from counters. And again, Hydro Cannon can't one-shot us. Now, they safe swap into Togekiss right here, which is great for us because we have Magnezone, which hard walls it. We have to watch out for the Flame Charge, but I'm going to go ahead and build up to 2 Mirror Shots right here. This does do super effective damage because of that Fairy typing. They decided to shield, which is perfectly fine with me. I will give up a shield right here as well. I don't want to get hit with a flamethrower, but this is probably going to be an ancient power shield bait, which it is. And I'm just going to keep overloading on energy and then go for this mirror shot right here. This should be enough to take out Togekiss, and I should have a charge move ready to go for the Swampert that is going to be coming back in. So it does take out the Togekiss. We are going to see the Swampert come in, and I'm going to go ahead and go for this wild charge. I don't want this Swampert to get too much energy so that I can basically get farmed down faster, as you guys can see, so they don't farm too much energy with that mud shot. Now, we're going to go ahead and bring in the Machamp right here. I'm going to throw this Cross Chop right away to force that last shield from them, and we do get it, which is perfect. Now I'm going to swap straight into Drifblim to soak this. Machamp is a bit low, and a Hydro Cannon definitely would have taken us out, and I don't know what they have in the back, but they decide to swap into Venusaur, which is unfortunate for them. This is going to be a good game because Drifblim right here just does so well against Venusaur by resisting both not the plant moves, the grass moves, right? Frenzy Plant and Sludge Bomb. Again, Ghost resists poison, which is very important. As you guys can see, in this matchup, you want to be going for Frenzy Plants. So this is going to be a good game. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Icy Wind right here against the Venusaur. This will take it out. And the Swampert will have to throw its energy in order to take us out, especially before I get to an Icy Wind. So I'm going to go ahead and let this go. My win condition now is with Machamp, basically getting to a Cross Chop or finishing off with counter and having a shield ready to go. So I think I do get to the Cross Chop in time, and that is going to be a good battle, very well played. So again, I think their win condition might have been if they stayed in with that Swampert and kept going for those Hydro Cannons. That would have been good for them, but bringing in the Venusaur was not the best call. Alright, moving in this next battle, we have Machamp on the lead versus Abomasnow. A very positive lead win right here, and we are going to see them swap out now into the Swampert. So we're going to go ahead and go for Cross Chop. This is going to do a lot of damage, force them to shield, and then we can bring in the Drifblim. So they decide not to shield, which is fine by me. I'm going to go ahead and bring in this Drifblim on the charge move. Hydro Cannon will do a lot of neutral damage, but I don't necessarily need to shield this first one. If I do decide to shield, shielding the first one is definitely ideal, but I'm going to go ahead and go for Icy Wind, but they get to the charge move before I do. I'm going to go ahead and shield this one right here. I don't want them to take me out with Hydro Cannons, right? So we're just going to overload on energy and now throw this Icy Wind. I want to have enough health left so that I can get to a charge move versus Abomasnow. And we do get a shield right there as well, which is great. So I don't necessarily need to shield this next Hydro Cannon as well. Each time you do an Icy Wind, it lowers the opponent's attack, which means the next Hydro Cannon doesn't do as much, so we can survive it right there. We're going to overload again a bit on energy. Going to go ahead and throw this Icy Wind. Now, I don't think I have enough residual energy to take out Abomasnow, or get a charge move versus Abomasnow. Yeah, I won't be able to get to it, but that's okay. What we're going to do now is I think in this one I decide to bring in Magnezone. They have a lot of loaded energy. Yeah, I decide to bring in Magnezone and they bring in the Swampert. Reason being that Energy Ball and Weather Ball will have nowhere to go. We'll resist it because of our Steel typing. So what we're going to do is let this first charge move go through. It is going to be a Dark Pulse, which doesn't do too much damage. But what we can do now is go for basically a double Wild Charge. And then actually I'll look to swap into the Shadow Machamp and start getting ahead on energy. So we're going to go ahead and throw this first Wild Charge. We land it, so we're going to swap right away because our win condition now is with Magnezone with that Mirror Shot, which will do super effective damage. I'm going to go ahead and shield this Dark Pulse. I didn't want to get hit with the Sludge Wave, so we're just going to go ahead and farm down. The Abomasnow is going to have to throw an Energy Ball in order to take us out. It cannot throw a Weather Ball because I'll do too much damage with counter. So we're going to go ahead and throw that Cross Chop. We do get a shield, and hopefully we can do as much damage with counter right now as we can. Again, if this is Weather Ball, we can win. If it's Energy Ball, it's going to be very close, and it is Energy Ball, which is barely not enough to take us out. So that means we get a couple more counters off, and now we have the Mirror Shot ready to go. So definitely a closer match than it should have been, but Magnezone, again, sweeping endgame is so strong, especially when you play well with that energy and shield advantage like we saw in this game. Alright, moving into the next battle, which I think might be the last one. Oh man, I got it right today. We have Empoleon on the lead versus Machamp. Very, very positive lead matchup for us. We'll have to see what they decide to swap into. So they are going to swap out, and they swap into a Dragonite. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Drifblim right here. What I'm reading is that this team might be Empoleon Double Dragon, which means with a shield advantage, Magnezone could basically sweep this team. So I'm going to go ahead and shield that first Dragon Claw. Again, if you're going to be shielding on a Drifblim, you want to shield the first charge move before you start getting Icy Winds off, because the second you get Icy Winds off, like we are right here, the attacks are going to do less and less damage. Now, again, I'm okay with losing switch advantage if I get both shields from this Dragonite, because I can come in with Magnezone and hard farm. So we're going to go ahead and throw this Icy Wind right here. This is going to take out the Dragonite or get the final shield, both of which is very, very positive for us. So we do get the shield, which is fine. Now my condition is I'm going to be coming in with Magnezone and just hard farming. The attack on Dragonite is drastically lowered, and they are going to swap out now into Empoleon. So I'm going to overload a bit on energy and go ahead and throw this Wild Charge before they get to a Hydro Cannon. And this is going to be one-shotting the Empoleon. Again, Dragonite has a lot of energy, so I have to be concerned about a potential Hurricane. So we'll have to see what they decide to do. They decide to come back in with it, so I'm going to go ahead and shield this charge move. I don't want to get hit with Hurricane. That's very important. And it is just going to be a Dragon Claw shield bait, so I'm just going to go for the Mirror Shot right now. If it was a Hurricane, I would have gone for the Farm Down. So Mirror Shot should be enough neutral damage to take out the Dragonite, and the final Pokemon is actually going to be a Togekiss, which is so amazing. This is why Magnezone can be so deadly at sweeping teams when you have energy and shield advantage, because Magnezone is just such a strong Pokemon and endgame sweeper, and that one shots the Togekiss, boom, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. How is Ultra League going for you? This team is definitely very strong, very standard line. Machamp on the lead, I think, has a lot more play in this meta because of Talonflame and the counters we are going to see from Talonflame. Like we saw a lot of Swamperts, we saw Talonflames, we saw Abomasnows today, and Machamp can do really well against all of those. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.